The Lisbon Treaty, due to come into force at the beginning of 2009, will strengthen the role of national parliaments, giving them a direct say in the EU legislative process. Today, the EPP-ED group hosted a summit of the EPP-ED parliamentary groups in the EU. They discussed how the European Parliament's relationship with national parliaments can be redefined.
Members of the Presidency and the heads of national delegations of the EPP-ED group are meeting with the chairman of the EPP-ED parliamentary groups in the national parliaments of the EU. We must organise the work of our group with that of the national parliaments. The role of national parliaments is crucial, particularly in terms of subsidiarity and proportionality. The EPP-ED group knows how important this role is, and so is putting in place the means to best coordinate our group with member parties in national parliaments. With this meeting, we're trying to discuss the treaty, see how to tackle the problems together, and how to work directly with each other. This is an agreement with the chairman of the national parliamentary groups to make Europe more political, rather than only focusing on the economic aspects. Members of the European Parliament and national members have a huge amount of work before them, and they hope to do it together. Jean-Claude Juncker, Prime Minister of Luxembourg, led the debate on the implementation of the Lisbon Treaty, together with Inigo Mendes de Vigo, co-rapporteur of the Lisbon Treaty for the European Parliament. For the sake of European citizens, we need to avoid a new polemic when we implement the treaty. Yet we need to consider a number of problems very carefully, such as the roles of the permanent President of the European Council and of the Prime Minister of the member state that holds the Council presidency. In short, we need to make sure the Lisbon Treaty does not endanger the institutional balance.
We decided to examine what happens after the Lisbon Treaty comes into force. And we think that it was a great day, it will be a great day for parliamentary democracy. It will be the big bang for the European Parliament, with more powers on codecision and more political control over the Commission, but also for the national parliaments, because for the first time in 50 years, they will get involved in the decision-making process at European level.
Jean-Luc Dehaene, former Prime Minister of Belgium and recently appointed rapporteur of a report on the impact of the Lisbon Treaty on the interinstitutional balance, said, "The Lisbon Treaty gives the EU a strong political dimension and makes it a true parliamentary democracy. On the same line, members of national parliaments who share the same convictions as our group can move things forward in a dynamic way in the fields of agriculture, energy, migration and so on," considers Jean-François Cope, chairman of the UMP parliamentary group in the French National Assembly. In France at the moment, there is a heated debate on the subject of GMOs. I often say to myself how useful it would be to do a benchmarking exercise on these topics, to compare our experiences. This can inspire best practice. Sometimes we are prisoners of our own national debates, and we can lose contact with different realities in other debates.
As well as examining the effect of the treaty on the institutional balance of the EU, members also examined how security, justice and freedom policy is changed and reinforced by the treaty. Once the Lisbon Treaty is adopted, co-decision between the European Parliament and the Council of Ministers becomes the rule.
Justice policy is communitarised, and in most areas the European Parliament obtains a full right of co-decision. The Union is gradually building up an integrated border protection system on its external borders, and the Reform Treaty gives the Union competences to develop a common immigration policy.
The entry into force of the Lisbon Treaty will make it possible much more integration in dealing with matters like cooperation of police, fighting terrorism, protecting our external borders, managing in a global approach immigration.
Concluding, Joseph Daul, the chairman of the EPP-ED group, said, "We should lay the foundations for a deeper but also a more structured and better organised cooperation. We should provide ourselves with the tools which are necessary in order to achieve efficient governance with respect to political and legislative processes, both on a European and on a national level. The EPP-ED group is determined to be a pioneer in this field. We wish to see our political family setting the example for interparliamentary relations."
This programme was brought to you by the press service of the EPP-ED group, the largest political group in the European Parliament. See you again soon.